It's Press Pass with Jack Ebling, Mid-Michigan's spirited sports debate. Now let's get talking sports. Here's Jack.
Great evening, Mid-Michigan and beyond, and welcome to Press Pass on Fox 47. The Detroit Pistons are daring to dream of another NBA title in our lifetimes. Miguel Cabrera drawing closer to a pair of baseball milestones. Michigan State's football recruiting is on a roll, and we've seen magic moments and major surprises in the Summer Olympic Games in Tokyo. Here to talk about that and much more is Team 409, Deshaun Tate, Lansing-bred and Atlanta-based basketball savant. That's Tate's Take Hoops, where basketball lives. How you doing, Deshaun?
No, I'm outstanding, Jack. I appreciate the invite and for having me on. Of course, it's always a blessing to be on this thing with you. And listen, basketball on top of basketball on top of basketball is what we've been having most recently with the NBA draft. I'm really excited to talk about that and much, much more with you today.
A little extension to the season with the Olympics, and after the draft, that means a busy couple of weeks of free agency.
Absolutely. Listen, free agency, everybody's pumped up, really excited. I'm down here in ATL, so a lot of people are just really anticipating what's going to happen. I think it's going to be a really, really good year for a lot of these different franchises.
We are also joined by Sean Baligian, one of the state's most versatile voices. He's a terrific talent in sports talk, play-by-play, or hosting in studio, and he is a man for all seasons for WJR in Detroit. Sean, I can't believe this. After nearly a decade of dismal performances, now I'm feeling all this optimism. The Tigers, the Red Wings, the Pistons. Can the Lions be far behind?
Well, you know what? A couple of years away, there's no doubt about it. That's what we have to do here tonight. We have to weave between what is legitimate and what is illegitimate. So we have a tough task in front of us tonight, fellas.
Yeah, when you think about this, I haven't heard this much excitement for the Pistons in a long time. Everyone thinks, well, Steve Yzerman's back. It's just a question of when for the Red Wings and the Tigers. Even when they lose, they're interesting. They're exciting to watch. So that's making things a little bit different. And we have college football coming up soon. Mel Tucker's program getting better. And Jim Harbaugh, he was in Indianapolis recently, so can't say he's never been there. When we get back, we're going to be talking about the NBA and the draft and tracking a trophy with Deshaun and Sean. We don't have Sean Respert here today, or we'd have three different Seans spelled different ways. We'll be right back on Press Pass.
The Holt & Diamondale Insurance Agency works with all of its clients, like the Howard Hanna real estate executives, to protect your risks. Auto Owners Insurance provides flexible coverage for personal, professional, and farm insurance needs. Call your hometown team today.
If your credit card debt is out of control, if you're in over your head in monthly payments, there's a secret the credit card companies don't want you to know. If you have more than $10,000 in credit card debt, you have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. That's bad news for the credit card companies, but it's great news for you. We're Credit Associates, and we're offering you free information on how to completely resolve your credit card debt with a monthly payment you can afford. To see how much you could save, call now. 1-800-914-6947. Don't declare bankruptcy. Don't consolidate. Give us 10 minutes and we could save you thousands. After all, we depend on your success and offer a guarantee so there's no risk to call. Credit Associates. Live better, debt-free. We'll even show you how to use your stimulus money to jumpstart our services and get you debt-free faster than you ever thought possible. Call Credit Associates now to see how much you could save for free. Call 1-800-914-6947.
Have you experienced the comfort of a well-fitting bra? 80% of women are wearing the wrong bra size. Visit Bras That Fit for the support your body deserves. Our bra fitting specialists will help you find the perfect blend of comfort and beauty with sizes in stock from 32A to 54K. For the perfect fit, come see us at Bras That Fit.
At Graff Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else. Peace of mind. Every Graff used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at graphokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graph Chevrolet in Okemos.
Call it a sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks, connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make Mid-Michigan a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Tracking a Trophy segment, brought to you by The Ticket Machine at the corner of Mount Hope and Hagedorn. For the best in sports and entertainment ticketing, whenever those events resume, visit Brian and his terrific staff at theticketmachine.com.
Yeah, I love Detroit. I've already, been listening to Detroit music and things like that way before draft lottery, any of that stuff. So I was already hip to the, culture in Detroit. It's a city that has a lot of things going on, and I feel like, getting a sports team rolling again would be huge for the city. So, if Detroit picks me, that's, the main thing I'm gonna try to do is step in, embody, the swag that people from Detroit walk with. They're a great organization. They got a lot of good things going for them. I think they're in the restoration, period. I don't think they're rebuilding. I think
The last time a Detroit pro team drafted a star from Oklahoma State, he didn't wear number 2, he wore number 20. That was Barry Sanders. That turned out all right for the Lions. Sean Baligian, the acquisition of Cade Cunningham, I'm calling him the Motor City Motorcade. What does that mean to the Pistons' future? Their first overall number 1 selection in 51 years.
It's big. I mean, there's no doubt about it. You want to talk about a guy that gets it. I mean, just watch that clip again. Even complete, Jack, with a line straight out of the Troy Weaver playbook. He's not calling this a rebuild. It's a restoration. And you know what? The pieces are there. He shook this up, and this guy is going to fit. It's not going to happen overnight, but there's a reason why this guy was the number 1 consensus pick. No brainer. Make this pick and get this thing back on track. And that's what Troy's doing as we speak.
Deshaun, Detroit also added 3 second-rounders, Michigan forward and 2017 Mr. Basketball Isaiah Livers, Iowa big man and National Player of the Year Luka Garza, and Florida State center Balsa Koprivica, all 7 foot 1 of them. Do all 3 of those players make the team?
I think there's a good shot that all 3 of those players make the team. I honestly do. That's kind of a birthday gift for my guy, Tom Crawford, right there, saying Isaiah Livers is going to make this team. But I will say enough to say that, these are guys that, we're talking about the Detroit Pistons. They need as much help as they can really get at this point. I'm almost kind of curious to see, hey, do you guys have a size medium jersey in the back for a guy like Deshaun Tate that's willing to get out there? But I'll tell you what, I think that they won a lot of games that not a lot of people expected them to win last year. They're going to win a few more games this upcoming year, and I think that all of those are clearly really, really good signs and a recipe for success, adding those 4 gentlemen to the roster this upcoming year.
Sean Baligian, the Big Ten only had 1 player taken in the first round. That's Michigan wing Franz Wagner, who will join Jalen Suggs in Orlando. But as we look at the list of all the Big Ten selections, and we'll talk about Aaron Henry later, does this explain why the league had so much trouble in the NCAA tournament this year after being billed as clearly the best conference in the nation?
Yeah, Jack, it's interesting you bring that up because I think at some point in time we have to look in the mirror and look at ourselves and realize that we've been our own worst enemy in regard to that. We keep waiting for that next team. And of course, we all remember who that last team was going back to 2000, but we're waiting for that next super team, and we keep waiting and waiting and waiting. And how many times, if we're being honest, right, how many times in the last 21 years have we said, oh, clearly the Big Ten is the best conference? And conversely, how many times in the last 21 years have we been wrong? So I think we're guilty a little bit of some lofty expectations in our own backyard. I really do, and I think we have to be cognizant of that moving forward.
Deshaun, we're on the eve of a guard-heavy month of free agency, but the biggest movement might have been a trade that would send NBA career triple-doubles king Russell Westbrook to the Lakers to form a new big three with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. A good deal for the Lakers, and one that makes LA the favorites in the West?
Likely the favorites in the West, I'll be honest. I think that's kind of what we're looking at here. And I'll tell you what, while I do think that it was a good deal because Kyle Kuzma wasn't necessarily coming to show that he was the third scorer that this team really needed besides or outside of a LeBron James and or Anthony Davis. And you know, certain things didn't go right all the way with some of these other guys. But I think that the key here, after certain people have kind of talked in regards to different reports about maybe bringing over a Carmelo Anthony or something. Just don't bring some of these elder gentlemen like some of your Dion Waiters and J.R. Smith. Guys aren't necessarily getting it done. You need jump shooters on the outside to complement a lot of those guys and a little bit of youthfulness to go along with it in combination.
Yeah, no question, Russell Westbrook is a Hall of Famer, and I've underestimated him in the past. But in terms of his skill set, not sure he's a great fit with the Lakers. I thought the Buddy Hield trade was better, and don't be surprised if Bryn Forbes winds up in L.A. He can give them one of the things that they are missing. We'll be right back with our Law of the Jungle segment, Talking Tigers, next.
So, I got my start in officiating when a friend told me I should try it. At first, I just did basketball, and I got hooked. Before long, I added baseball, softball, football, and volleyball. I really enjoy giving back to the game, working with kids, and working with my local association to recruit and train new officials. I would like to say to anybody that officiating is a great way to help kids and stay connected to the game. We always need new officials. There's help wanted, just listen.
Call it a sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks, connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make Mid-Michigan a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
When you take a look inside Dart Bank, you'll find a banking experience like no other. You'll find that each of our banking offices are made of local people making local decisions. Even through these challenging times, our teams and lobbies stayed open, ready to help you through all your banking and mortgage needs when you needed us most. So if you're looking to upgrade where you bank, we invite you to come see our Dart difference. After all, we've been doing this for over 94 years. Dart Bank, for what matters most.
Menards is your automotive headquarters. We have a great selection of towing options from TowSmart. The adjustable tri-ball mount can tow up to 10,000 pounds and features a height-adjustable mount. Add more safety when you tow with these wireless LED magnetic tow lights. They're easy to install and have a range up to 70 feet. Save 11% on all TowSmart towing products right now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
My life can get a little dull. So to get my heart racing, I get in on the action with DraftKings Sportsbook. Their top-rated sportsbook gives me the thrills I'm looking for. Ooh, that was close. Almost took the under. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, place your bets, and experience the thrill today.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Law of the Jungle segment, brought to you by Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, your healthy alternative to fast food. Eat Woody's and live longer. Stop and see Chuck, Delita, and their terrific staff for the best in Mediterranean food. That's why I'm there every week.
In Minnesota, in a getaway day, in a hot, hot day. And
deep right field. Has he done it again? You bet he has. Put another one on the board. It's 4-9-7 now.
It was Miggy time twice Thursday night in a win over Baltimore. Deshaun Tate, living in Atlanta as you do, is there an appreciation outside the state of Michigan for what Miguel Cabrera has done as a Triple Crown winner, as a two-time American League MVP, and a four-time batting champion?
Yeah, no, Miguel has been fantastic. You know, when you start looking at the legacy and the history that he's going to leave behind with this particular franchise, I mean, it's just been nothing short of amazing. 497, what a feat that it is already, getting just 3 steps closer till he gets to a point where he's reaching 500. So I definitely want to give him his flowers and kind gestures and all those good things, because what he's accomplished so far, there's so many other greats that has played this game of baseball, especially on the highest level of MLB, who can't say the same thing. So I definitely think we got to give him his credit for sure.
Sean Baligian, I want to take a look at Miggy's steady climb up the Major League Baseball list for career hits and home runs. 54 games left this season. He'll almost certainly get the 3 homers he needs to reach 500, barring an injury. But will he get the 58 hits he needs this year to join Henry Aaron, Willie Mays, Alex Rodriguez, Rafael Palmeiro, Eddie Murray, and Albert Pujols as the 7th member of the 3,500 club?
Boy, Jack, he's been playing better the last couple of months. You have to give him his credit for that. But let's define better. He was absolutely miserable the first part of the season. So it's better. Do I think he gets to 58? I don't. I don't think he gets there, especially on the pace that he's on. But I'm with you. I think he gets to 500. But it's nice to see the signs. Even a day like today, he didn't get a hit, but you know what? He's finding a way to get on base, and that OPS in particular has really skyrocketed up. So maybe a little hot streak, yes, but my bet is no.
He looks like he's having fun again, Sean, and that was missing for a couple years. Deshaun Tate, the Tigers bounced back today after a pair of losses to the lowly Orioles. At 51-57 after the first day of August, what will this team's final record be for 2021?
Yeah, I don't know, Jack. I'll tell you what. First of all, I know that may not necessarily be saying much, but I think it's clearly going to be much better than it was around this time a year ago, or even within recent history. But I think that they're going to. I think the most comfortable thing that I would say, I think they're going to really come close to, double the amount of wins that they had from a year ago. And I know that people say, hey, maybe that sounds crazy, or maybe that's impossible or whatnot. But I think that they'll definitely really come close, and that they really have something good, some foundation to go off of, taking a substantial leap from a year ago going into next season. I think that that'll be good for them and the organization as a whole.
Sean Baligian, a flurry of big name movement at the trade deadline. And when you think about the Yankees and Dodgers, they made the biggest splashes, as their bankrolls might suggest. But the Mets and Giants got better too. And will anyone recognize the Chicago Cubs?
Yeah, it's funny you say that, Jack. I was in Chicago just yesterday. There was a period of mourning around that side of town. Now, while on the south side, everybody's excited about the Sox, and rightfully so, there's a period of mourning on the north side with the Cubs. You're absolutely right. Look at the Yankees lineup all of a sudden, and Brian Cashman, we've seen them do it time and time again. I mean, that is a formidable lineup. Where's the pitching?
We'll see. And we'll be right back in just a minute to talk Michigan State football and basketball next.
An idea. Shared. Inspired. Designed, created, and enjoyed. American Home Kitchen and Bath in Okemos invites you to let us help you create your dream.
Greasy pizza boxes.
Ugh, glass bottles not emptied.
Yogurt containers with... Ew! Cat food still in the can is bad.
But oh, so good.
Hey, what are you doing?
Relax, Mom. We're here to help.
Oh, this stuff could ruin the entire recycling load.
Wow, I had no idea.
Chill, we'll show you the ropes.
Michigan needs to recycle better, and that change starts with you. Learn the rules of recycling at recyclingraccoons.org.
The Ticket Machine is your local connection to concert, theater, and sporting event tickets nationwide. Our entertainment experts are ready to help you create a memorable experience, trusted by fans for more than 20 years. Whether you're looking for tickets for your corporate outing, family excursion, or vacation, we offer the best seats and the best prices. Grab a front row seat now on theticketmachine.com.
When you take a look inside Dart Bank, you'll find a banking experience like no other. You'll find that each of our banking offices are made of local people making local decisions. Even through these challenging times, our teams and lobbies stayed open, ready to help you through all your banking and mortgage needs when you needed us most. So if you're looking to upgrade where you bank, we invite you to come see our Dart difference. After all, we've been doing this for over 94 years. Dart Bank, for what matters most.
You're up. There's an old saying, you can never have too many officials. The age of the average official is 52 and getting older all the time. We're constantly recruiting new people, younger people to join us. After you register with the MHSAA, look on the website to find an officials association near you. They'll put you in a position to succeed as an official. We all learned a lot from high school sports, and officiating is a great way to give back to the game. There's help wanted, just whistle.
Touchdown, Falcons.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Going Green segment, brought to you by Graf Chevrolet and Graf Nissan on West Grand River in Okemos. With 107 years in the automobile business, they'll take great care of you, as they have on all 7 of my leases and purchases. For a new or used vehicle, go green, go Graf.
Our brothers, you in trouble, they right or they wrong, yeah. All that I know, yeah. Murder, she wrote, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Okay, gang forever, I'ma die for my respect. Say my name, whatever, get your pop through a text. 100K or better, I just wrap it around my neck. Johnny Dane, king of bling, I just went fucked up a check. On the road, doing shows, coming to your city next. Bunch of bottom boy survivors, we a long way from the jet. Hit my knees, I'm thanking God, I finally get the flex. Reminisce about hard times right before I bought a jet. And who need a stylist when you got all this money piling? All it took was guidance. A young nigga, but far from childish. And Lil J don't get them lows, get them gone and then rewind it. He sold 400 P's and brought back 800,000 for this way in a minute. I live through the roof.
There aren't many defensive tackles who wear number 21, gentlemen. But, Sean, what does Alex Van Summeren's decommitment from U of M and his pledge to Michigan State, when he could have gone just about anywhere, say about those two programs, especially about the momentum Mel Tucker is building with what is now the 22nd ranked class in the country?
Well, first and foremost, let that young man wear whatever number he wants. He's not going to get an argument out of me. I mean, you look at some of those hits, but he's got bad intentions. No, Jack, it really is continuing that surge that you speak of. There's good vibes going on about Michigan State, about Coach Tucker and what he's trying to do. Nobody's writing any checks. Nobody's saying that, hey, baby, it's going to all come together and just wait till what we are. They're just going to let their actions speak for itself. And that's a beautiful thing right now. If you can't see the momentum, you're not paying attention.
It was a big weekend with a ton of underclassmen visiting campus and more than 100 former players also here for Spartan Dog Con. But Sean, when you think about the Spartans week and another commitment from 4-star wide receiver Antonio Gates Jr., the son of the San Diego Chargers great, as we take a look at MSU's 17 verbal commitments thus far, what does this list tell you?
Well, you know what it tells me is, when you talk about the stars and whether we want to accept it or not, that kind of stuff is important. Now, does it translate on the field? Don't misconstrue. I'm not going all Michigan fan on you here, Jack. I had to throw that in there. But you know what it does tell you? That, hey, kids know that this program's all about business. Kids know that this program is putting in the time and making the effort to go get some of these guys. And that kind of stuff is contagious. Hey, what's going on at State? And you piggyback that with some wins, get that thing going, and then it starts to roll downhill. So that's what it tells me. The trajectory right now isn't even going up. To me, it's starting to roll downhill, and that's even more exciting.
So many different states involved here with this national recruiting plan. Deshaun, we are 33 nights away from the Spartans opener, a late Friday night game at Northwestern. As we look at the Spartans schedule, what do you think the record might be with Vegas projecting just 4.5 wins for MSU?
Yeah, listen, call me crazy in a 12-game season. Some people feel like, you know what, there's no way that the team is going to be on 6-6. I think that is much more likely than that, if I'm just being honest. I think that this is at worst a 7-5. I think we're going to start creeping a little bit more towards that 8-4 line with some big time wins, maybe some disappointing losses that will certainly be sprinkled in there for sure, till we get a little bit closer to the point where some of these guys that are coming in and being relied upon to be such heavy assets that will contribute to wins later on, maybe the following season. I think right off the bat, I think realistically we got to look at a 7-5, and I realistically cannot see it being much worse than that. I really can't.
It's going to be so important with that opener against the Wildcats, the defending Big Ten West champions, and a team that Michigan State handled last year in Spartan Stadium. Deshaun, switching sports, I want to talk about Aaron Henry, a guy that we both thought would get drafted Thursday. Why wasn't he taken in round 2, and how do you think he'll fit as a free agent signee with the Philadelphia 76ers?
I think that the fit could potentially be very good for him just because they're in flux in so many different situations. I mean, when you start talking about some of those guard positions and maybe closer to being, a smaller forward was someone like a Harris or somebody like that who doesn't necessarily bring the consistency and the persistency that they really needed him to. A guy who has a chip on his shoulder, has nothing to lose type of attitude, playing with house money amongst other things, certainly needs to kind of work on that jump shot maybe just a little bit by carrying the Spartan team, maybe some ball handling amongst other things. But he has an ideal, typical NBA body, and I think that'll help.
We'll be right back. We're going to talk about conference realignment, a new face to college football. Up next.
At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else, peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
Call it a sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make Mid-Michigan a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
When you take a look inside Dart Bank, you'll find a banking experience like no other. You'll find that each of our banking offices are made of local people making local decisions. Even through these challenging times, our teams and lobbies stayed open, ready to help you through all your banking and mortgage needs when you needed us most. So if you're looking to upgrade where you bank, we invite you to come see our Dart difference. After all, we've been doing this for over 94 years. Dart Bank, for what matters most.
Hey, what have you been doing up there?
Honey, only ask questions that you really want the answers to. Okay. Can we get a reward for being such a nice guy?
As long as nice guys don't finish first.
A good guy, but he's got a big dilemma. 3 girls, a wife, are ganging up on his Oh my God, are we poor?
You are. We're doing very well. I know this might be too late to say, but I'm not sure we should have children. Oh, what are you dressed as?
Oh, a farm girl.
E-I-E, I know. I wasn't always this good at this.
That's Jackson. That's Mike. We went to the mall.
Haters, gonna hate. Peace out.
On Last Man Standing. Weeknights at 6 and 11:30 on Fox 47.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Take It to the Bank segment, brought to you by Dart Bank, dedicated to meeting the needs of our banking community for more than 90 years, with 4 convenient locations in Mason, Holton, South Lansing, Grand Ledge, and the expanded Home Loan Center in Frandor. That's Dart Bank for what matters most. There you see a map of the new SEC and stretching from Texas to Florida and Oklahoma to the East Coast, and some very powerful football schools in that league now, with 16 and 16 and counting, perhaps. Deshaun, the SEC's marketing campaign, It Just Means More, was on full display with the poaching of the 2 biggest names from the Big 12, which is soon to be Big 8 again. What's the biggest difference between a conference you know now in Georgia and the one you grew up watching in mid-Michigan?
Probably more than anything, the money that's going to be coming along with adding some of these teams during the conference realignment. And not only that, but just the prestige, the tradition that's coming along with the Oklahomas and the Texas and, networks amongst other things. Some of them, particularly within Oklahoma, more than once being on that national stage in terms of playing for a national championship in the college football Final Four. So I think that just puts nothing but more positive eyes and ears on the SEC as arguably or inarguably in a lot of cases, especially here in the South, as the most dominant football conference in the country.
Former Florida Heisman Trophy winner and national championship coach Steve Spurrier loves to rib the opponents, and that includes now Texas, and said, well, what's the big deal with them coming in? They can't even win the Big 12. So I'm sure that's going to go over well in Austin. Sean, we've heard rumblings that the SEC's growth spurt is just beginning, and it could include an effort to annex the 2 biggest fish in the Big Ten and the 2 biggest in ACC waters. As we look at a revised map, is there any chance that U of M, OSU, Clemson, and FSU could bolt to form a true super conference?
Boy, wouldn't that be something? I'm going to go back to what you just said about Steve Spurrier. And boy, college football misses Steve Spurrier. And you could insert the name Michigan, where Texas just was. Michigan can't win the Big Ten Conference. It can't win their own division. What on earth do you think is going to happen if they join the SEC, for goodness sake? If I'm Ohio State, I say, why? I mean, more often than not, they can sleepwalk through the season. They can even afford to stub their toe every now and again, and they're still going to end up in the playoff. I'm really intrigued about the ACC aspect because for years, if you remember, so many people said, well, wouldn't it be great if we could find Miami and Florida State in the same conference? And that finally happened. And my goodness gracious, can you imagine Miami and Florida and Florida State in? Florida State, Miami got to get their act together. But it's no coincidence that this segment is called Take It to the Bank because just like Deshaun said, the bank out of this is going to be insane. And it's going to be one of those things, Jack. We knew that the second round of musical chairs in college football was coming. I just didn't know it was going to be this big and this crazy, and there could be more to come just yet.
Follow the money, Sean. That's what we say. Deshaun Tate, let's take a look at the seating capacities for each of the Power 5 conferences' 3 largest football stadiums. When you take a look at this list, what do these numbers say?
Yeah, they just speak a lot of tradition. And when you start talking about potentially two of those teams moving on to a different conference or the possibility of that, something like that happening, I think it's absolutely crazy because it does nothing but add to it. But I will say enough to say that, listen, putting butts in the seats all over again for the first time since all of this pandemic, more moolah, more money, hopefully not more problems. I couldn't imagine that that would equate into that type of deal, but certainly I think that that's just really good for the sport all the way across the board and give people a really good, much more comfortable feeling of coming out of this whole pandemic and getting a chance for everybody to enjoy college football again like we once did.
Sean Baligian, I want to take a look at the nation's top 10 programs in terms of revenue, income from 2 years ago. And this isn't about name, image, and likeness, but when we talk about income inequality in this country, in college sports, it's Bezos versus barely surviving in a lot of the football games we're going to see in September.
No, that's exactly it. I mean, and you know what? It's getting to the point too where every week's going to be so darn important. And you know, I was telling you guys before we went on, you know, if you were up early this morning, you could smell the pig in the air. I mean, it just was so good. And so college football knows it's grown so much in the last 30 years, and they know what they're doing. They're going to tighten the screws just a little bit and work us all into a frenzy. And I can't wait. I'm here for it.
It won't be long, and hey, now they're talking about a 12-team playoff. That might be put on hold with all the conference expansion. People saying, not so fast, my friend. We'll be right back talking Olympics next.
If your credit card debt is out of control, if you're in over your head in monthly payments, there's a secret the credit card companies don't want you to know. If you have more than $10,000 in credit card debt, you have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. That's bad news for the credit card companies, but it's great news for you. We're Credit Associates, and we're offering you free information on how to completely resolve your credit card debt with a monthly payment you can afford. To see how much you could save, call now. 1-800-914-6947. Don't declare bankruptcy. Don't consolidate. Give us 10 minutes and we could save you thousands. After all, we depend on your success and offer a guarantee so there's no risk to call. Credit Associates. Live better, debt-free. We'll even show you how to use your stimulus money to jumpstart our services and get you debt-free faster than you ever thought possible. Call Credit Associates now to see how much you could save for free. Call 1-800-914-6947.
Check out baseball on the Fox Sports app.
Call it a sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks, connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make Mid-Michigan a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else, peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for The Big Picture, brought to you by Dean Transportation. Dean is hiring caring and dependable people as school bus drivers in many Michigan markets. Be a hero in your community and safely transport children to and from school with Dean. For more information and to apply, visit deantransportation.com/jobs. That's deantransportation.com/jobs. There you see Olympic gold medal gymnast Sunisa Lee the all-around champion. And gentlemen, it was just a few days ago, 9 days to be precise. We were looking forward to watching the GOAT, Simone Biles, and didn't get to see her for mental health reasons. Instead, we were treated to Suni Lee and an unbelievable story about her father becoming paralyzed and she wasn't going to compete. And he told her, you have to do this. You've worked too hard. And now she is a gold medalist. When you think about all of that, Deshaun, there's a lot here. And it's been a lot of fun to watch some of these outstanding performances like Suni Lee.
Absolutely. And it's been absolutely breathtaking. I mean, listen, there's no secret. I don't think I'm surprising you or anybody else. Shocker, right? That I've been paying more attention to basketball than anything else on this level. But guess what? I paid attention a little bit to in terms of what's happening along within the gymnastics and not being able to see Biles. I want to say, what else do they have to offer? What else can I see? What else can I find? Who else is there to be able to show that they want to kind of rise above like a rose from the concrete? And that is where you've seen Lee with also a very inspirational story. Nobody is happier about this feat, accomplishing these things than I am. And just to be able to see that it's more than just one person. It's more than just who we call the GOAT that can be successful. And I think that's something that speaks volume about the kind of talent and how far down in depth that they have for Team USA.
Deshaun, Team USA lost back-to-back exhibition games to Nigeria and Australia and lost its pool play opener to France. After a couple of bounce-back wins, can Greg Popovich's players pull it all together and get the gold medal we used to take for granted?
Can they? Yes. Will they? I don't think so. I think that there's multiple things that's keeping them from doing that. That prototypical, natural, born and bred, not only leadership, but point guard, that coach on the floor. I think that Popovich may be a reason for some of this, perhaps, but I think that there's things that these players are taking for granted. And the other part of it is something they're taking for granted. You're not getting the cause that you're getting on the NBA level as far as being a superstar. These are international rules. They don't care about these ticky-tack fouls, make enough eye contact with the guys and whistles blow. That doesn't happen. You have to earn yours on this level, and I'm just being honest about it. I kind of miss that style of play.
Sean, Xander Schauffele is your men's golf gold medalist. As we take a look at the top 9 finishers, including 7 who wound up tied at 15 under par, do you think that an Olympic gold medal ranks with the sport's major championship accomplishments, or would he give up this gold medal in a heartbeat for a major win?
I think there's still a ways to go. You know, there's still the magic that dances around the majors, Jack. There's no doubt about it. But I don't think it's going to take long. Look, you're representing your country. You win the gold medal, especially in dramatic fashion. All 3 of us were involved in that playoff hole. I think half of Lansing was involved in that playoff hole as well. No, I mean, all jokes aside, it's getting there. I think the stature is going to get better by the next Olympics and even bigger than that after that. Part of it with golf, as you well know, is tradition, the T word. It isn't there yet for Olympic golf. Give it some time.
Yeah, as you say, it's such a new event, and we're seeing so many new events in the Olympics. 3 channels isn't enough to watch them all. Sean, I'm not someone who is preoccupied by medal counts and the nationalism of the Olympics, but this is the ultimate in uneven playing fields. If we take a look at the top 5 nations and their medal counts, what does it mean that the USA is second after today's events behind the People's Republic of China?
Well, you know what? I mean, it really is a way of life over there. To be honest with you, I mean, for me, Jack, I'm kind of surprised that they have more medals than China. China having the edge in the gold, I'm not exactly shocked by that. It really is one of those things. It reminds us, Jack, you and I grew up in an era of the Soviet Union where they're born and bred and they take these guys and they take these ladies and guess what? The state is now your parents and they, for all intents and purposes, they train them 365 days a year in preparation for that moment. So you hear a lot of that stuff about China. So I think it's only going to get bigger and bigger. You know, they obviously want to be a major player in every sense of the imagination on the world stage, and the Olympics is just the beginning.
And congratulations to Taylor Manson of East Lansing. She is a bronze medalist competing in the first mixed 4x400 relay. We'll be right back.
Give your home a new look with help from Menards. We have the best in-stock selection of Mastercraft interior and exterior doors to take home today. Or design your door your way in-store or on Menards.com. Secure your new door with a new door lock from Kwikset. They offer tons of styles and options to match your door. All Kwikset lock sets and Mastercraft doors are 11% off right now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Hazel Finley and St. John's offers skilled nursing services, long-term, respite, and hospice care for your loved one. Built around courtyards and blooming gardens, Hazel Finley provides fine dining, beauty, and barbershop services, local outings, interactive activity programs, plus on-site rehabilitation services, as well as other specialists to give peace of mind that expert care is always there. Call today for more information or to schedule a tour. Hazel Finley, continuing care close to home.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
It's another fall Friday night, and your kids should be
playing high school football. It's a fun game, and it's safer than ever.
It's safe because the rules, the coaching, and the equipment are better than ever before.
As a result, serious injuries are at an all-time low. Seriously.
And builds
strong schools, lifetime memories, and tomorrow's community leaders.
And it's mother approved.
It's a great game, and we want to teach it to your kids.
At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else, peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Value and Values segment, brought to you by the Michigan High School Athletic Association, a statewide organization with a proud history. The MHSAA supports broad-based opportunities for growth and teaches life lessons through the value and values of high school athletics. We are 8 days away from the official start of full team practice for high school athletes in the state of Michigan. And here to talk about the 2021-22 season is MHSAA Executive Director Mark Ewell. Welcome back, Mark.
Hi, Jack.
Are you ready for a more traditional year of school sports than we had a year ago?
Absolutely. Just hope that everything that we're seeing with Major League Baseball this summer, all the plans being made by the NFL, college football, it's with full crowds, full speed ahead, and we're planning in that exact same vein.
As we look at all the activities that the MHSAA offers this fall, what will those competitions look like with the Delta variant and COVID still looming large if vaccinations don't increase?
You know, I still think they look very normal. Certainly more precautions with both volleyball and girls swimming and diving. Those are our 2 indoor fall sports. And so I think a lot of the lessons that we learned last year with keeping people as safe as you can in an indoor setting are something that are going to continue. Thankfully, those 2 indoor fall sports are non-contact. In volleyball, there's no intermingling of opponents. In the same thing with swimming, the only time kids are really around other opponents is when they're on deck, and hopefully we keep some of that social distancing. And I really have high confidence for everything outside, including our two full contact sports of soccer and football.
Mark, what's the most important lesson from what you've had to deal with in the past 12 months?
If you put it in that perspective, Jack, it's having incredibly thick skin. I think something we've all learned over the time of COVID is that there are strong opinions on just about every factor. Those strong opinions extend through almost every political continuum, every medical continuum. And, we're listening very closely to what our Sports Medicine Advisory Committee is recommending. And we're moving forward based on that information, and all of the other criticism about playing, not playing, or anything in between is just something you need to stay focused on what the data is telling us.
Mark, let's take a look at the calendar for football, just to pick one sport. How confident are you that we'll all be back in Ford Field on Thanksgiving weekend, not in mid-January again?
As odd as it was last year, Jack, I hope to never play high school football during the month of January. We thankfully got it done for that 1 year. Confidence is high. Everything that we're hearing from Michigan State, not only they're going to play this fall, but it's going to be with Spartan Stadium as full it can be, the same as with the Lions. So really have high confidence that our football season, along with our other fall sports, will get to the finish line, and that finish line will be the 2 days after Thanksgiving meal.
Mark, the DeWitt Panthers, a program you know extremely well, will be trying to repeat as state champs. How strange will it be for you not to hear tackle by Grant Ewell? And can you tell us about his great opportunity at the next level?
It is. So for the first time in a long, long time, I'm no longer a high school football dad anymore. So Grant's actually at the United States Air Force Academy. Football practice starts next week. We have not spoken to Grant in just over 5 weeks through basic cadet training. So we'll get to fly out and get to spend 2 hours with him this week. So we're looking forward to that.
Fantastic. Mark, thanks so much for joining us. Have a great season. We'll be right back with our Cool and Smooth weekly awards up next.
Woody's Oasis, your healthy alternative to fast food. Woody's has the best Mediterranean food in town. Stop and see Chuck and Delita. They'll make you feel like family. Their friendly, knowledgeable staff is always willing to help.
Hi, how are you doing today? Do you want to do the homemade bread with it, or did you want to do the thin bread as the side?
They'll be sure to put a smile on your face. And as lifelong supporters of MSU athletics, you never know who might stop by. Eat Woody's and live longer.
Coulda, shoulda, Woody's.
Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, right next to campus.
When you take a look inside Dart Bank, you'll find a banking experience like no other. You'll find that each of our banking offices are made of local people making local decisions. Even through these challenging times, our teams and lobbies stayed open, ready to help you through all your banking and mortgage needs when you needed us most. So if you're looking to upgrade where you bank, we invite you to come see our Dart difference. After all, we've been doing this for over 94 years. Dart Bank, for what matters most.
Sports give so many opportunities to kids. It gives them an opportunity to see where they fit within a team, persevere, understanding how to work with different personalities. Those are the lessons that will make you a successful adult. As a mom, you have to have an understanding of what concussions are.
Concussions are things that are treatable. If we take care of athletes, they will be able to develop and have a long, happy, healthy life.
Hi, here's this week's fairs, festivals, and fun on Fox.
Get yourself over to the 167th Ingham County Fair. It runs August 3rd through August 7th with the best family fun anywhere. This year, see the Lumberjacks compete and the Pirates walking on a high wire 60 feet in the air. You won't want to miss the Robot Ranger or Mingo and Dango and the adventures of the Flying Umbrella Ship. Ben Risney wood carving and the Racing Pigs are back. along with the Skirbeck Entertainment Group Midway Rides. Check out the Shirley Clark Pavilion for trivia sponsored by Meijer. The best fair ever is the Ingham County Fair.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for a cool and smooth segment brought to you by 4 great Culver's locations in mid-Michigan. Okemos North and South, North Lansing, and West Lansing. Since 1984, Culver's has been delighting guests one meal at a time with scrumptious butter burgers and premium frozen custard. Swing through any Culver's drive-thru and grab your fresh favorites. That's Culver's. Welcome to Delicious. The Detroit Lions getting ready for preseason games and want to take a look at the first 4 games under head coach Dan Campbell and take a look at these, Sean. You're going to be doing the Lions Network studio coordination. What would be a success in these first 4?
1 and 3. I think 1 and 3 would be, you would love to see them beat the Bears. I think they're staring at 0 and 3. Jack, I'm going to say it again. I think the Lions are very, very self-aware this year. They're not looking in the mirror and saying, hey, look, there's Brad Pitt. They're looking in the mirror and saying, we got some work to do. And I think that's half the battle. I think the wins are going to be few and far between this year. I really do. But this is a franchise that is playing the long game right now. And for the first time in my lifetime, Jack, they aren't looking in that mirror and saying that they are something they are not.
All right. Time for our weekly awards, Team 409. What has been as cool and smooth as a Culver's mid-explosion? Deshaun Tate, what do you have for us?
Yeah, ironically enough, in terms of my team of the week, I'm going to go with the Team Arkansas over Fort Worth Funk. 74-70 victory in the TBT tournament. The winner gets $1 million. Championship game coming up. Boeheim's Army splits the other half. Of most impressiveness of that. Florida TNT win 66-64. But I'll tell you what, while they're meeting up for the championship, I'm still confused as to why the Tennessee Volunteers are. I'm more confused as to with that roster, how come they're not in it more than I am the confusion of Sean's name and how that's spelled. I don't understand it. Nonetheless, those are my 2 winners in terms of teams of the week.
Well, you know how much Deshaun Tate loves basketball when he's giving us a rundown of the TBT. Sean Baligian, what do you have for us this week?
Well, you know what, Jack, I wanted to say the Detroit Pistons, because they're heading in the right direction, but I'm going to stay right here in the backyard. The Michigan State Spartans. I mean, it's momentum. It's a snowball going downhill. We're only 33 days away. Keep the positive vibes going. Keep that perception going as well, that this is a place to go and that this staff gets it. And they're going to continue to get it. And they're going to get themselves a bunch of wins. I'll go back to what Deshaun said earlier. I think people are sleeping on this team. 7 wins, maybe more than that. So I'm going to give it up to the Michigan State football team.
When you think about it, Sean, Mel Tucker has a chance to be the first coach in Michigan State history to start 2-0 against Michigan, but Spartans are 9-4 in the last 13, so I guess anything can happen. If you can win in Ann Arbor without a spring practice, then when you get your team and all of these portal additions, anything is possible. All right, I want to talk about our player of the week, and so many options. When you have Olympic Games, I only narrowed it down to 17, guys, before I started to pick, and a sport that I don't particularly enjoy watching at the Olympics, but it is on incessantly, is swimming. And you have to recognize Caleb Dressel. He joins Mark Spitz and Michael Phelps as the only U.S. swimmers to win 5 individual gold medals in an Olympics. And when you factor in what Katie Ledecky did with her 3, the Caleb and Katie show accounted for 8 Olympic gold medals for Team USA. I want to thank Deshaun Tate, Tate's Take Hoops, where basketball lives, and Sean Baligian. You can hear him on WJR. Have a great week, everyone. We'll see you next Sunday.